Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this rather strange unboxing video because there aren't any boxes in it. You see, what I've been doing over the past month or so, and you'd know this if you follow me on Instagram, is I've been ordering lots of Blu-rays and books to do with my Noir Confidential project. No, so it's kind of the films I'll be reviewing, the novels they're based on, sometimes the biographies and autobiographies of the filmmakers or the actors who are appearing. Basically everything I can do so I can do a deep dive into each individual film. And because of that, I've ordered a tremendous amount of stuff, and I've completely lost track of what's arrived and what hasn't, and sometimes what I've got and what I haven't got. Because I've actually had to go back through the side room there and actually remind myself occasionally to avoid ordering something twice. So, this week's haul is sitting right in front of me. And here it is. And I'm going to be opening this on camera, seeing what's inside these packets, and talking a little bit about them. So, let's get started. So let's start with packet number 1. And this actually felt like a bit of a brick, and I thought it was a book, but actually what we've got instead is the Blu-ray of Citizen Kane. So this is the Citizen Kane 75th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray. Wow. And let's take a look at what else we've actually got in this particular package in terms of extras. Oh, there are some commentaries, that's no surprise really, by various critics, including Oscar-nominated director Peter Bogdanovich, I can see there, who was of course Wells's friend and long-time champion in his later years. Ruth Warwick, she's interviewed, she played the first Mrs. Kane, and also an interviewer with editor Robert Wise, who worked on the picture of course, and went on to direct The Sound of Music and Star Trek the Motion Picture, among many others. Oh, here it inevitably says up the top here, I'm sure you can see that, the greatest film of all time. I really do think this is a little bit of a disservice to the movie, really, because it's a very double-edged sword, I think, because it puts people off watching it, because they think it'll be a challenge intellectually. You know, they think it's a piece of art, so it's going to be obscure. Well, it is a piece of art, but it's commercial and accessible art. You know, you'd have no problem following the story or anything like that, but the way the movie's trumpeted by film critics the world over, I think it puts people off watching it because they think it's going to be something it's not. It is a very commercial and accessible movie. And let's have a look at what we've got then. What's inside the pack? Okay, put that down for a sec. Oh, okay, well, the usual watch it anywhere leaflet. I think we're all familiar with that now. Oh, this is probably, oh no, this is artwork. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we've got some cards here, I think. These postcards. Oh, look at that. Yeah, these are cards basically showing the original artwork for the movie and the various publicity materials. They're beautiful, aren't they? Superbly designed. Wow, how many of them are there? Quite a few. That was reproductions of some of the lobby cards. Or one of them anyway. What's this? Just have a quick read. Okay. If I've got my glasses on, that will probably help. So we'll take a quick edit here while I get my glasses. Right, now I can actually read what this says. It's basically a statement by Wells denying that the film has any reference to William Randolph Hearst, who was the press baron who basically he based the film on, because there was an awful fuss. If you're not aware, there was an awful fuss at the time in the Hearst newspapers. He was a hugely influential, powerful man, and he did not like Wells or Citizen Kane at all, and in fact probably helped its poor box office returns by his campaigning against the movie. And that's basically a reproduction of a draft of a statement where Wells attempted to convince everyone it wasn't about Hearst. There's a reproduction of a letter from RKO Radio Pictures to Wells. Basically a little bit about a statement that they put on the end of the picture. Interesting. And what's this? Another reproduction of an old document, which is a press release by the look of it. If you can see that too well. There's a reproduction of the pre-budget estimate for the movie. There you go. Interested for all the accountants out there will be interested in that, I suppose. Again, more publicity material for the movie. Oh my God, there's a lot of this, isn't there? Wow. Okay. I did actually pay a little bit for this box, I must admit. It's been out for a while, so I'm kind of behind the times a bit getting hold of it, but it looks like it was well worth it. It's another RKO document about Joseph Cotton, registering him for working on the film. And there's a reproduction of a box office Blue Ribbon Award that the film won. And here we are back. I really love this picture. I think that's great, isn't it? I'd like to get a big one of that for my wall, I think. That would be brilliant. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's move on to the other side here. What's this? Okay, this is a book. Full again of lots of publicity reproductions and notes. Look forward to reading that when I get round to it. And that's the first enclosure here, and there's a couple of others. What have we got here? Wow, this is a little hardback book. Oops, some storyboards. Some notes about the film and its making, no doubt. Wow, lots of photos. That's superb, isn't it? That's quality. Wow. Okay, so in amongst all this, I presume this is actually the Blu-ray itself, I would guess. Yes, it is. There we go. So we do actually get the disc as well. That's quite important, I think. Well, that's certainly a very impressive little package there. Wow, I'm looking forward to sinking into that. That's kind of like all of that. That's, well, probably a couple of days. That's a good weekend's project, actually, watching the film again and going through all those extra materials that you get in the box. That's wonderful. I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. Indeed, that looks absolutely great. Really glad I got hold of that. Citizen Kane. As I say, it's a very commercial movie. If you've never seen it, don't be frightened by it. That's all I would say. Is it one of my favourite films of all time? Do I think it's the best film ever made? Not really, no. But I do think it's very good. I do think it's a classic. But, well, I'll go on to talk more about my opinions on the film, obviously. But when I do my review in Noir Confidential, but obviously I need to re-watch it a couple of times as well. It's been a few years since I've seen it. I've always meant to get hold of it, but this beautiful 75th anniversary box is a really good excuse to spend a bit of money, I think. So that's number one. That's my first package. So what else have we got? So let's bring along number two. Oops, mustn't show the side with my dress on it. I might have to blur that. This feels like a Blu-ray as well, actually. Or maybe a small book. It's more like a Blu-ray though. We got. Yeah. I should probably have bought some scissors with me, shouldn't I? That wasn't very clever. Have we loosened it enough? Yes, we have. Oh, well. It's more from Orson Welles. This is actually a German Blu-ray, which I had to get from a fairly obscure source. It's Mr. Arkadin is the movie, otherwise known as Confidential Report. This is from 1955. I will be doing it as part of my Noir Confidential thread, but it's a rarity in the 87 movies I've chosen, and it's one that I didn't think was brilliant. I thought it was okay and good in places, but the reason why I wanted to include it was because I saw it many years ago, so I would like to see it again. But the other thing about it is that the film was, as with most of Wells's movies, completely cut around by producers and released in a completely bastardised version in different countries. There were different versions. It was a mess. Well, this Blu-ray has the 3 separate cuts of the movie, and I gather there isn't a definitive cut, and there is kind of like a difference of opinion on which is the best cut, but they're all on here, and I really did want to give this one another watch, basically. I don't know if we've got anything. Oh, it's all in German, of course. I don't speak German, slight problem. The film isn't in German, so that's the main thing. But yeah, I don't know what we've got on there. Oh, there is a bit that talks about extras. That must be a commentary, but I can't really tell what else we've got there, but that'll be interesting to find out. As I say, I don't think it's a great movie, Mr. Arkadin, but it is one I wanted to watch again, specifically in the different versions. And I'm a Welles fan. I'm just a nut for his movies. I just think even the lesser ones, there's touches of his genius in them. So that's 2 for Orson Welles to start with. I don't know, maybe there's more Orson Welles. Who knows? Let's have a look at the third. Again, this is a Blu-ray. I don't think this does not seem to be a book. I have ordered some books, but it's another Blu-ray. And what is it? Oh yeah, wow! I'm really chuffed to get hold of this. Night in the City, 1949-1950 Jules Dassin movie with Richard Widmark, set in London. Brilliant movie, absolutely brilliant. Was remade ineffectually with Robert De Niro actually many years later. It's a great film, but I'm particularly chuffed to get hold of this because I won it on eBay for much less than it's normally worth. This cost me less than half price because it's out of print. It was released a while back on Blu-ray, and so yeah, it's going for ridiculous money, and luckily I managed to find a copy that wasn't ridiculous, and I nipped in right at the end of the auction, as I do on eBay, and annoy other bidders by bidding with the 10 seconds left, and I got it for an incredibly good price, as I say. Special features, the brand new 4K restoration, audio commentaries. Yeah, there's an audio commentary on the US version. Oh, and the previously unseen British version is on here. I didn't realise there were different versions of the film. Wow, okay. You've got commentary on both of those. Interview with Richard Widmark from 2002, and that's 72 minutes long. So that's like a documentary. What else goes on? We've got Jules Dassin, the director, interviewed in 1981, and that's 50 minutes. So it's only audio, but be interesting. As I say, I quite like some of his films. He did Thieves Highway as well, which I think is a brilliant noir. I love Thieves Highway. I think that's a great movie. He did that as well, so hopefully we'll talk about both. And we've got books and things apparently, yes, here we go. You've got the book there. And obviously the disc. Let's have a quick look at the book. This is a BFI, British Film Institute edition. Let's have a quick look at the book. There we go. Let's see what we've got in there. Oh, wow. Okay. Is there a more noir photo than that? Wow. Okay. And there we go. There's plenty of writing about it in there, so I look forward to reading that. The original novel, actually, I've had for many years, by a guy called Jared Kirsch. I've never read it because I've always got a massive to be read pile. You know, it's always got hundreds of things in it. And I'm not joking when I say hundreds. I think there's a couple of hundred in it at the moment. Anyway, I've never picked it up because it's set in London. There's a lot of Cockneys in London in the book, and their dialogue is written as in Cockney. And if you know what that means, it just means I can imagine it will be a bit of a hard read. Not that I won't know what they're talking about, I think it will just get a bit tiresome to render all the colloquialisms kind of phonetically. So, you know, you're going to have to... it's just put me off, basically. That's all I'm saying. It's put me off reading it. But I will have to read it, obviously, when I get round to reviewing the movie for my Noir Confidential thread. But, yeah, great movie. Really chuffed to get that at such an incredible price. So let's move on to the fourth package out of the 5. This is a book. Yeah, this is a book. It doesn't... it's not a novel. It's too big to be a novel, I think. So I would guess that this is probably a book about a filmmaker, I would imagine, or an actor, possibly. Let's see. Oh, the last package, which you can't actually see because it's out of shot at the moment, over there, is actually Amazon. I didn't think I had anything on order from Amazon. Okay, that's a bit of a puzzle actually. I hadn't noticed that. I was just deliberately not trying to open these until today. So I was deliberately trying to, as soon as things came, I just put them on the table out of the way and tried not to be tempted into opening them. Yeah, I'm a bit puzzled about what that might be. Anyway, let's have a look at this one. Number 4. Oh, I haven't done a very good job of that, have I? That's better. Okay, so what is it? Oh, it's the Life and Times of Sidney Greenstreet. Now, really looking forward to reading this. I don't know anything about Mr. Greenstreet, apart from the fact The Maltese Falcon was his debut movie, and obviously he was not a young man when he did that movie, his first film. I've seen all his films, actually. It's not a great achievement because there weren't that many, because obviously he wasn't around for a great deal of time after he became successful. Yeah, it says on the back here, at the age of 61, he made his film debut. So there's hope for us all, I guess. Yeah. So he didn't make many films, but I have tracked them all down, and he is good in all of them. I do enjoy his performances. That's him, apparently, in 1907. There we go. Don't think I'd recognise him somehow. And here we are. I believe this is a print-on-demand autobiography. Biography, it's not an autobiography. What are you talking about, Mark? Yeah, I think this was a print-on-demand one, but it looks a good quality. Certainly did. Plenty of photos as well. So I'm looking forward to that one. Excellent. And again, we find with these film biographies, they're not cheap, but this one wasn't overly expensive, put it that way. But yeah, you have to be prepared to shell out a bit of cash for some of them, especially if they've been out of print, or sorry, if they are out of print now, because, you know, they were actually written a while back. So yeah, the one disappointing thing I found actually when doing my purchasing is that you can't get the Kindle version at a reasonable price. I think it's a real con, personally, why would a digital file be 20 odd pounds? Like only a couple of quid cheaper than a book? And the physical book that, has had to have been printed. And, there's a cost for paper and cardboard and stuff like that. Yeah, but the digital files are often almost as expensive, and I think that's such a con, because I'd much rather get the cheapest version, because I don't live in a huge flat and the books are already taking over, I'm afraid. So I don't really want more physical copies, really, although I do prefer them. But really, in terms of the as I say, in terms of the physical space, I'd much rather have a digital file, but they're just too expensive. It's a real con. So let's go to the last. And I don't know what this is. It's Amazon. But as I say, I haven't actually got anything outstanding on order with Amazon. At least not that I can remember. Okay. Perhaps I ought to read my emails a bit more often. Although then, if I did, then I wouldn't get a nice surprise, would I? It's pretty substantial, whatever it is. God, oh my God. Oh, wow. It's my Violet Evergarden box on Blu-ray. Oh, now, look at that. You've got a couple of discs there, and that looks like a huge book. Is that a book? Well, this is a bit of a story actually behind this, because I love Violet Evergarden, and if you're not into anime, you've probably never heard of it. But it's an incredible story about a girl who's trained as a soldier, virtually from birth, takes part in a war in which she loses her hands and has them replaced by metal hands, and takes a job writing letters for people after the war who aren't very good at writing. They can't articulate their feelings, and it's her job to do it for them. But ironically, because she was actually virtually programmed from birth to be a soldier, she doesn't have any feelings and doesn't understand them, and that's the reason she takes the job. It's an unusual story, and a very, very strong and moving one, and beautifully animated, absolutely beautiful. One of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. And yeah, I mean, there's a story behind the actually getting hold of this, because I've been waiting for this to come out for ages. And when I say ages, I mean I kept checking the Anime UK website every week or so for about a year. And it got announced with one date, and then that date got put back. But I ordered it in anticipation of it arriving in early November, and then it all got delayed again. And I pre-bought it basically. I actually registered to buy it and all that, which is why I didn't realise that this is what this box was going to be, because I didn't know it had finally come out. It was sort of like, what's this, April? So what's that, 6 months later? It was delayed for 6 months for some reason, and as I say, it wasn't the first delay. A little sheet there, nothing on the other side, but there you go. And let's get to it. What have we got? Oh, okay, not sure what that is. Well, obviously we've got the Blu-rays with the show on it, and some line drawings obviously from the original concept art there. The actual show looks a bit better than that, I assure you. But yeah, that's obviously that's some original concept art there, and you've got a couple of discs there. You see that the pictures in there are on the labels, give you more of an idea about how the show actually looks. You probably can't see that tremendously well, but yeah, it's beautifully animated, absolutely beautiful. And as I say, I just love the show, I really do. And I'm going to make a confession here. It actually made me cry, which I guess as a bloke I shouldn't actually admit to something like that, but it did. And if you're a fan of the show, you'll know precisely which episode I'm talking about. I think it was number 8, I think 8 or 9. Yes, that's an episode where Violet goes to write letters for a woman who wants them to be sent to her daughter after she's dead because she's dying of cancer. And ooh, yeah, that's a really hard watch. That's a really hard watch, that. Okay, so what else have we got here? What's this? The art book. Wow. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Oh, look at that. Oh, whoa. That's how good the show looks. Oh, you can't really get the effect of it, I'm sure, but that's amazing. Oh, look at it. Wow, it's huge. So much in it. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, well, my God. It's almost like a novel. Okay, but that's not everything, because there was something else in there, wasn't there? What's this? It's some Violet Evergarden stamps. Well, I won't be using those. I'm not sure they'd work in the UK anyway. That's in a little presentation sleeve there. And there's something else in there as well. What's this? Oh, these are some cards with some of the animation from the show by the looks of it. Oh, wow. This is making me all nostalgic for when I watched it, because it must be now a couple of years ago, because as I said, I've been waiting for this to come out for so long. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow. Amazing. Wow, so you get a few art cards in there as well. What an amazing package. Well, that's it for my unboxing, without boxes. So we've got Violet Evergarden, The Life and Times of Sydney Greenstreet, Night in the City, Mr. Arkadin, and Citizen Kane. Wow, so that's going to keep me busy for a while, isn't it? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this unusual unboxing video. And yeah, look at that. Wow, that's amazing. That's a little pile there for me to keep me occupied for quite a while. Superb. Until next week's haul, of course, and who knows what's going to be in that. I might do another video about that, I don't know, but don't forget to like. If you did like the video, press give me a thumbs up, and why not share and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.